Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, I want to give some advice. I probably talked about this in one of my videos on, economics, like financial advice, like making do with less. Like even if you are approved, let's just say for shits and giggles, a house that's 350,000, and that's like the max. Don't go for the maximum. Go for that's what my wife and I did. Don't go for the maximum house, like the most expensive house you can afford. Try to live below your means. Plan for a rainy day because. As I'm sure all of us as adults know, you don't know when, how much, or what is going to happen, but you're always going to have more than likely unexpected expenses, dental work, medical care, car repairs, so home repairs, those are the four things that really come to mind for me, or injuries. And if you're doing well, yeah, it's very important, I think, I had the problem with this years ago where I was doing well, I wasn't really planning for, a rainy day, for unexpected expenses. I wasn't spending all my money, but it's like I got too comfortable, and then all of a sudden these things, financial situation was kind of tight. I wasn't broke, but still things were kind of tight. And all these unexpected expenses came up like all at one time. There was a home where I think I had to replace an igniter on my furnace. Then the car I had at the time was as soon as the warranty was up on it, it had like the bumper to bumper, 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first, and it ran perfectly for the first 5 years. But then after, as soon as the warranty was up, like bam, like everything went wrong with it. I spent thousands of dollars, probably $3,000 or more on that car. I finally got rid of it, and I wasn't planning. I just had my basic checking account. I got wiped out. I should have had a savings account, an emergency fund. I think I did have like a little bit of an emergency fund or a savings account, but I was like dipping into it. It's like you always got to kind of pretend like you don't have it. But it makes you a better person. Like even if you're doing well, in case something were to happen, like a job, that's another thing that could happen, job loss, you get laid off, you get fired unexpectedly, or, you have to, somebody in your family is sick and you might have to, move or give up a job to take care of them. Shit happens, we don't always, we don't always know what exactly it is, how much it's going to cost, when it's going to happen, or, having to take time off of work for surgery, for injuries, that sort of thing. And when you're financially responsible, preparing for that sort of thing, having an emergency fund, a retirement plan. I should have gotten a retirement plan much sooner, but I just got one last December. But hey, better later than never, right? I'm not really planning to retire. I'm planning to work until the day that I die, because a lot of people say that retirement really sucks. Just sitting around the house, doing not having work to do. It's boring. A lot of people end up, even if they don't go back to work, they'll do some type of volunteer work or charity, work, that sort of thing. Volunteering at a food pantry or lunch recess at a school, something like that for very low pay. But my dad, it was his dream most of his life to start his own business. My dad was actually like the controller for waste management, and he left there back in '92. He was there for 20 years, and he just got tired of working for other people. And it was his dream to just be his own boss, take off, go out and golf, go out on vacation whenever he wants, whenever he wanted. And he did take a huge pay cut. I did like an inflation calculation on it. Like he was making $57,000 at this job back in 1992, and like today that equates to like almost six figures. So it was pretty. Even nowadays, $57,000 a year is pretty damn good. But yeah, I guess 27 years ago it was really, really, really good, almost like a six-figure salary with inflation. So our life definitely changed. But Dad started up his own accounting business. And, but yeah, he did take a huge pay cut. It was his dream to work for himself, do whatever he wanted to do things however the fuck he wanted to do them. But he went from making, like I said, from $57,000 a year down to like $15,000 a year. Okay, it was a really life changing. We all felt it. I mean, we had enough food. we were able to pay all of our bills. Yeah, we definitely didn't feel, my brother and I definitely didn't feel deprived, but it was a change for us. We made a lot of cutting back. We took less expensive vacations, but we were still happy to go on vacation. We did, stayed in cheaper hotels, and just instead of going like to Disney World, we did, cheaper vacation. Just I had a good time, just going to water park or playing in the pool, or I was in basketball all the time, just playing golf and basketball. And golf is, my dad and I always walked. We didn't take a cart. It's expensive now, even walking. I'm not sure about back then, but yeah, my dad and I always used to walk, so that made it cheaper that way. And we used to, instead of going to the driving range, like paying for a bucket of balls, my dad and I, he had like a ball retriever. We would just bring our own bucket of balls to like a high school where there's a huge field, and we would use that as like our driving range. And my mom and dad, they always drove, real cheap cars. They never bought like brand new. They always bought like used cars and always ran them into the ground. Yeah, didn't really splurge on cars. And it was a tradition. We always used to go out for pizza on Friday nights. That was like our way of celebrating the end of the week. My brother and I, the end of the week with school, and my mom and dad, the end of the week with work. And that was our tradition. Every Friday night we would go out for pizza, and then we would go out for, after we came back from having pizza, we would stop off at a video store and rent videos for the weekend VHS. Wow, it was so long ago. Yeah, it's hard to believe that video stores have gone out of style. Redbox and Netflix are the new thing now. I kind of miss that, going to Redbox. You kind of got to like review the movie. It's mostly just new movies, not old movies, and you got like, there's no description. You got to know what the movies are about first. You got to review them and Google them. But it's like, I really liked it, VHS and even DVD, where they had the covers. You could go in the video store, and they had everything, action, drama, horror, cops and robbers, cop movies, that sort of thing, suspense. And you would be able to take the cover off the shelf, turn it to the back and read it. I kind of missed those. I really missed those days. That was fun. So yeah, my mom started making homemade pizza at home. It was pretty decent, and we didn't feel deprived. So she started making the pizza at home, and I think we still did the video thing. We didn't have cable. I think we still did the video thing. It wasn't that expensive, really, to get a video. I forget how much it was, but yeah, I remember it was really, you had to keep the video, or at least the video store we went to, it was only like a couple bucks, and you got to keep maybe it was Blockbuster, you get a couple bucks, and you got to keep the movie for, God, I don't know, it kept increasing. At first it was like 3 or 4 or 5 days, and it got to be where you could keep it for a week. I think the last time I went to Blockbuster back in 2006 or 2007, you could keep them for a week, and it was like dirt cheap, like $3. And so yeah, we did that, and we used to, parents wouldn't turn on the AC unless it got up to like 85. We were fine with that. We had a basement. If we did get too hot, which we occasionally did, basement was like ice cold. So if we got too hot in the summertime, we would just go down there, and in the wintertime, when it was cold out, we used to just wear long sleeve shirts, wear sweaters, pants, socks, shoes. If we got cold, and didn't really bother us. And just some funny things, like we used to go out to McDonald's on Sundays after church, but then we started going on Tuesdays. Instead of going on Sundays, we went on Tuesdays, because back in the day, this was like back in the early 90s, McDonald's used to have like quarter hamburgers. So that was a big thing that we used to do on Tuesdays. And I think when you get sick of the hamburgers, the soup was dirt cheap. McDonald's used to have soup back in the day, like in the wintertime. So then I used to just get soup there, and we would bring it back home, or sometimes when we did eat there, or any like other fast food restaurant, we used to like sneak our own pop and our own drinks. And the same thing with because movie theaters, that's the way they make their money off of food. I think we did get a drink, or we'd sneak a drink in. We would share drinks too. We'd get like, maybe one big drink, and then my mom or dad would sneak in like other Dixie cups or plastic cups. And, she would just take the big pop, the big gulper, a big bottle of soda, pour it into all of our glasses, like Dixie cups or plastic cups, paper cups, I forget, or styrofoam. That was so long ago. And Mom actually used to, because we love popcorn, but my mom used to make secret microwave popcorn, and then we would, she'd put in like plastic bags, and then we'd sneak that in too. It's funny the things we did. My brother didn't remember that, and he's like, "Oh my God, sneaking popcorn in the movie theater." He's like, "Oh, that is so white trash." My mom's like, "Well, that's what we had to do to get by. We couldn't afford to buy the movie theater popcorn," and I can definitely understand why. So yeah, just want to say, if you can, try to make do with less. It just, especially if it makes you a better, because if you're a spender, if you're really used to splurging, I'm really kind of worried about that, because I used to be a splurger with certain things, but then when I came to like a job loss, it was like, oh man, what am I going to do now? But it's like, if you know how to save, if you know how to really look for bargains, really know how to budget your money well, it's a good skill to have, and that is something they should teach you about in high school. They teach you this math. They teach about accounting, but they really should have. I know they had a class I took about adult living. We taught you some adult skills, but I don't remember doing a budget. That is one thing I think they should teach there's certain skills that I didn't really have that I really needed to have when I was living on my own. I think there's certain basic skills that they should teach you, like how to change air filters if you're a homeowner. That's an important thing to know how to do. Check and change, dump out the lint wrap in the in the dryer. That's something that I didn't know about until I moved out on my own. How to do basic car maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, changing a tire in general, just how to, because that was another thing too, I didn't know about, cars kind of like dental work and medical care. It's kind of like you do preventative care, and I didn't know about that. I knew about oil changes, but I thought everything else, you just let it go to shit, and you just wait until your car breaks down or isn't. I know my car at one point was making noise. I think my brakes were starting to get shot, and I just kept driving like, oh, well, it drives. It's fine with me. It doesn't bother me. I'll get used to it, but yeah, I didn't know that, if you let your brakes go to shit, you let your tires go to shit, that could definitely cause a fatal accident, and that is not good. So it is definitely important. They should teach you, even if you're a woman, I think they should teach you, because if you're going to drive, I think it's important to know about, basic car maintenance, car repairs, like changing a tire if you get a flat tire. If there's nobody around to help you, I think jump starting the car, that's an important thing to know, how to change a battery in a car. I think what else? We got budgeting. Like I know, did all this math, did all this algebra, geometry, all this shit math over the years, advanced algebra. I took accounting, and then you learned about credits and debits, and you kind of learned how to balance. That's how I learned how to balance a checkbook, even though I didn't have a checking account. At that point, I was only 16, but I don't remember anything about like budgeting. I think that it's really important, because kids, teenagers, they don't know. Unfortunately, a lot of those kids, they find out the hard way. I think it should be taught about credit cards, how credit cards work with interest rates, how mortgages work. How to, figure your, like again, going back to budgeting. If you make, let's just say $3,000 a month, it's like, okay, these are what my bills are going to be, and how much, do I spend on, alcohol, how many, rounds of golf can I play a month, how many times can I go out to eat? Can I afford to go out to eat? Can I afford to go out to the bar with my friends? Just, as an adult now, 40 years old, it's like common sense, but it's mainly more mental discipline than anything. Looking for coupons, looking for deals. What's that called? Groupon is a really good thing. It wasn't around back when I was younger. That's a good thing. Memberships where you get discounts. But a lot of that shit is not taught in school. And my parents, I hate to knock my parents, but even though my dad was an accountant, my mom and dad, they really didn't teach me a lot about budgeting and money and about adult living. Fortunately, even about fashion and dressing. Fortunately, I had to find out a lot of things the hard way. But hey, at least I learned later than never. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Shoot any questions my way if you have any questions about finance, budgeting, things like that, and how to live more within your means, living on less, doing with less. Because there are a lot of things out there that, we think we need. We really don't need them. We want them. So it's like, and my mom, that's one thing that mom did teach me. She said, buy what you need before you buy what you want. So in other words, buy if you need new shoes, buy shoes before you buy the, video game or go out for play a round of golf or go to Dave & Buster's for a night out. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. For my 45 subscribers, comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon with another great topic. Until next time, America.